Christian Pulisic is one of the most talented prospects to emerge from North America since the golden generation that the US had featuring Landon Donovan, Clint Dempsey, and DeMarcus Beasley. After building a name for himself in Germany with Dortmund and attracting much interest, Captain America would earn a move to London Cowboys, Chelsea in 2019. Fast forward 4 years, and the player once dubbed as the long-term successor to Hazard's throne at the Bridge now exists firmly on the periphery of a bloated Chelsea squad and is primed for a quiet summer exit. How did the LeBron James of soccer end up being seen as a failed wonder kid at 24? In anticipation of Eden Hazard's departure to Real Madrid, Chelsea would sign a 20-year-old American winger named Christian Pulisic from Dortmund for some $3 million. This fee would make Christian the most expensive North American soccer player of all time. The hype around Pulisic was warranted though. He was a crown jewel in an emerging generation of world-class American talent and had solidified himself as one of the Bundesliga's brightest stars. After breaking through at Dortmund in 2016, Pulisic would make his first team debut on the 30th of January under the then club manager Thomas Tuchel. He would play sparingly here and there but would finish the season strongly while claiming the record of being the youngest non-German player to score in the German First Division. The future was bright for Pulisic, and he would go on to cement a name for himself in Europe as one of the brightest talents on the continent. He would make 81 appearances for Dortmund over the next 3 seasons and would establish himself as a talisman for the US men's national team. He would even come second in 2019 for the rankings of the Copa Trophy, an award given to the best male under-21 player in Europe. The man who bested him for the award was a young French lad from Bondy, Paris, named Kylian Mbappe. Decent player, you might have heard of him. Towards the end of 2018, there was a feeling Pulisic started to become too big for Dortmund, and there was much transfer speculation over his future. With the focus of the media on his future at the club, Pulisic's performances would start to become a bit more muted. Combined with injury struggles and the emergence of Jadon Sancho, Dortmund would seek to offload Pulisic, and Chelsea would provide Christian with a suitable exit. Pulisic arrived at Chelsea to quite muted fanfare. The American had originally been signed during the winter transfer window of 2019 and loaned back to Dortmund for the rest of the season. When he arrived in the summer, the hype was there, but fan interest had certainly cooled. In the fast-changing world of football transfers, Pulisic would somewhat be shelved as Chelsea would be firmly fixed on rebuilding the club with the appointment of Frank Lampard in the midst of a transfer embargo. Pulisic would struggle to adapt upon arrival at Chelsea, although he had lived the last 5 years of his life in Germany. Being a 20-year-old American kid in the Premier League would have been a whole different ballgame. In those early months, Christian would find it extremely difficult to adapt to England. It's important to note that Christian didn't arrive alongside any other new signings, so it wasn't like he had any new players around him who he could relate to and somewhat lean on while finding his feet at the club. He was literally a fish out of water with no real support system, as his family was firmly based in America. Christian would remark on how awkward his arrival was at Chelsea.
It was all pretty crazy how it happened. That was my first day in training. I actually had to fly straight from my summer break because it was right after the Gold Cup. So I had 1 week off, and I didn't really get a summer. But the team was already starting preseason in Japan, so I flew straight there, and I had to I flew by myself and met the team because the whole team flew from London, and I had to go straight to the hotel. And then the next thing on the schedule was just go straight to training. So I'm tired. I'm nervous. I don't know what to think. I'm like, this is Chelsea. This is insane. So sure enough, I go on the bus, and they all just arrived as well. So everyone's just half asleep, right? I sit on the bus. No one even noticed me. No one even came. Like there was maybe 1 or 2 guys that were like, oh, like, hey, hello. And I was like, yo, like, what's going on here? But everyone was just dead tired. And sure enough, I showed up at training.
The Despite an awkward start to life at the club, Christian will go on to make 25 Premier League appearances in his debut season by racking up 9 goals and 6 assists, which was quite good for not only an injury-ridden season in England, but for this very young Chelsea side, which had just navigated their way to a top 4 finish during a very weird season interrupted by COVID. Importantly, 8 of Pulisic's contributions in the league that season would come during the lockdown period in June. This was of course after Christian had adapted a bit more and found his feet. With an encouraging end to the season, everything was set for Pulisic to kick on and firmly build a name for himself in England and hopefully carry this Chelsea side. Unfortunately for Christian, he would be injured during the start of the 2021 season, and with the 1-year transfer embargo lifted at Chelsea, there will be a slew of replacements brought in to not only freshen up the squad but to also provide very much needed cover. The signings of Hakim Ziyech, Timo Werner, Kai Havertz, and the emergence of Mason Mount would make competitions for places difficult, and over the course of the season, Christian would make 43 appearances in all competitions while contributing 10 goal involvements. His output had dropped a bit, but there was solace found in his ability to be fit and present all throughout a peculiar season where Chelsea would sack Lampard halfway and appoint Thomas Tuchel, and he'd go on to win the Champions League. After scoring a goal in the opening day of the 21-22 season, Pulisic could miss the next 3 months of fixtures due to COVID and an ankle injury. He would remain in and around the first team throughout the season, but he was firmly behind in the pecking order at the club despite the misfiring efforts of Werner, Havertz and Lukaku. Pulisic would finish the season with 38 appearances in all competitions and would post 13 goal involvements in the league, making this his second best season statistically in a Chelsea shirt. During this season, Pulisic would average 59 minutes of football in the league with 13 starts, compared to his first season where he averaged 70 minutes in the league while starting 18 games. Now in the present day, this season, Pulisic has made 26 appearances in all competitions and has only completed 90 minutes once, which was during a single appearance in the Carabao Cup. 21 of his appearances have come in the league, where he has averaged 38 minutes of football with only a single goal and assist to his name. Deep that, 38 minutes of football across 21 appearances with single-digit goal involvements. It has literally never been this bad for Pulisic. He is at his 4th year at the club and is averaging nearly half the number of minutes he played in his first season. So what's next for the player once dubbed to be America's answer to Kylian Mbappe, the LeBron James of soccer? Poor fitness, unreliable output, and the new big money signings at the club mean Christian would find game time even more difficult to come by in the coming months. A bloated squad would also mean Chelsea would need to offload a few players in the summer, and with just over 12 months left on his contract, he would be high on the list of outgoings, as there is still a possibility at the age of 24 he can command a reasonable fee. Looking at his time at Chelsea, it's fair to say that Christian hardly set the league alight or even showed signs of igniting the same kind of form that he showed in his first season. His time at the club has been very underwhelming, and the spark that once showed has been extinguished, and the enthusiasm around him among fans in England has cooled, as he is now viewed by many fans as one of those players who are a huge benefactor of the kind of hype dubbed as Bundesliga tax. There is hope for Christian though. In a Chelsea shirt, he is largely invisible, but in a US men's national team shirt, he never fails to move the needle. He still remains the jewel in this crop of emerging USA talent. He shone for the States at the recent World Cup and was able to accrue 3 goal involvements in 4 games, showing that he can still very much excel at a high level. With the 2026 World Cup approaching, there would be an expectation for the US men's national team's Captain America to be playing regular football somewhere in Europe come the start of the tournament. One destination where Pulisic could seek to rebuild a name for himself within the Premier League is Leeds United. Provided the Yorkshire club survived the threat of relegation, Christian could be tempted to link up with fellow national teammates Brendan Harrison and Tyler Adams at the club to further boost the numbers of the American Mafia in Yorkshire. Another potential destination could be Borussia Dortmund. The club are set to lose Jude Bellingham in the summer, and besides the wealth of talent at the club, Dortmund could re-sign Christian in a Pogba-esque deal to help provide some mentorship to the youngsters at the club alongside former teammates Marco Reus and US compatriot Gio Reyna. This one is a bit unlikely though, due to the tensions that existed between Pulisic and the Dortmund hierarchy during the period Pulisic was advocating for a move away. But in football, you can never rule anything out. The next possible transfer destination for Pulisic is the least unlikely, but actually my favourite, a return to the MLS. With the revamp the MLS has undergone this year in an attempt to revive the identity of the league and create a more defined footballing culture in America, signing Christian Pulisic could be the Galactico signing needed to provide a real face to the league. Christian grew up in Pennsylvania and spent the first 15 years of his life in the States. He's a full-blown international and the captain of the national team. Signing Captain America to an MLS club at this point in his career could be seen as a huge statement, as Pulisic is arguably the biggest America to have done it in Europe in recent times. Pulisic, with the right marketing, could be to the MLS what Zlatan was to PSG and Ligue in the mid-2010s, a defined face of the league. If Pulisic came back to America,
LeBron James of soccer,
really
definitely.
He'd be a guest on every single late-night TV show and host a couple episodes of SNL. If he's lucky, he might even date one of the Kardashians. After all, age is nothing but a number. He could become the first ever All-American MLS icon, and with the wealth of young talent in the league, he could be the face behind an attempt to change the MLS's reputation as a retirement of Farmers League. A kid from Hershey's, Pennsylvania, playing in his prime, starring as the face of the league. Come on, the American public are gonna eat it up. Anyways, how do you view Pulisic's time in the Chelsea shirt? Do you think he's washed and finished? Where do you think he ends up in the summer? I would love for him to come play in the MLS, but I feel like Leicester, Leeds, or even Juventus in 8th League could be likely destinations for him. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts about it, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.